All right, folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever checked your spare change and thought, man, what if one of these pennies was actually worth a fortune? Well, today I'm about to blow your mind. We're talking about a 1995 no mint Mark Lincoln penny, just a regular OL penny, that could be worth up to $1 million. Yep, that's six zeros, folks. Now I know what you're thinking. Come on, it's just a penny. You're telling me I could be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. That's exactly what I'm saying. And before you go running to grab that jar of pennies off your kitchen counter, stick around because I'm going to tell you exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how to check if you have one, and why collectors are shelling out insane amounts of money for it. And trust me, I've been where you are. A few years ago, I found myself knee-deep in pocket change, convinced I was about to hit the jackpot. Let's just say it didn't go exactly as planned. But more on that in ABIT.SO. Grab your pennies, and let's dive into this wild world of coin collecting. The mystery behind the 1995 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. So, what's the big deal with this coin? After all, most 1995 pennies don't have a mint mark. It was made at the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't use a mint mark back then. But here's where things get interesting. Certain era pennies from 1995 are extremely rare, and collectors are going absolutely nuts over them. The big money 1995 Lincoln penny isn't just any ordinary cent. It's got a super rare error, and error coins are like gold in the collecting world. We're talking about a penny that somehow made it out of the mint with a one-of-a-kind mistake that makes it worth more than some people's houses. What error makes it worth $1 million? The exact details of the error are a bit of a mystery. Some collectors believe it's an ultra-rare misprint, a striking anomaly, or something unique that's yet to be fully understood. What we do know is that it's caught the attention of high-end collectors willing to pay a fortune for it. Now, let me pause for a second and share a quick story that a while back, I got obsessed with finding valuable pennies. I was so determined, I spent an entire weekend sorting through every penny I had, penny rolls, couch cushions, even the one stuck in my car's cup holder. My wife thought I had officially lost my mind. And after hours of searching, I finally found something. A 1995 penny with a slight doubling on the date. My heart was racing. I ran to check its value, and turns out it was worth about 20 bucks. Not quite a million, but hey, that's a nice lunch. All right, so how do you check if you've got this legendary $1 million penny? Grab a magnifying glass or a coin microscope. Some errors are hard to see with the naked eye. Does anything seem doubled, off-center, or strange? A pristine penny with the right error is worth the big bucks. Compare it to verified rare 1995 pennies. Search online or use a coin guide to match your penny to known valuable ones. If you think you've got something special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. How much could it actually be worth? Most 1995 pennies. Worth a cent. But error pennies? That's where the magic happens that a minor double-die 1995 penny can be worth $20 to $1.50, but a high-grade double-die can go for hundreds, even thousands. And the ultra-rare $1 million 1995 penny? Well, that's the holy grail of modern Lincoln cents. The truth is, finding one is like hitting the lottery. But people DO win the lottery, right? So why not take a few minutes to check your spare change? Why collectors go crazy for rare pennies, you might be wondering. Why on earth would someone pay $1 million for a penny? Well, coin collectors are a special breed. They love unique pieces of history, rare errors, and one-of-a-kind coins that set their collections apart. Plus, when you've got a billion pennies out there, finding that one rare mistake is like uncovering buried treasure. It's the thrill of the hunt that keeps collectors searching. And who knows? Maybe that next $1 million penny is sitting in your pocket right now. So, let's wrap this up. We just went on a wild ride through the world of the 1995 no mint Mark Lincoln penny, and now you know what to look for. If you got a jar of pennies lying around, take a few minutes to check. You never know what you might find. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more tips about coins worth money. I've got plenty more hidden treasures to share, and trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. Hey guys, have you ever held a penny in your hand and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you one of those tiny copper coins could be worth a life-changing $1.1 million? Yeah, that's right. A simple 2007 D. Lincoln penny, something you probably walked past on the sidewalk. sold for over $1 million. Before you go scrambling to check your couch cushions, let me take you on a little trip down memory lane. That I remember back when I first got into coin collecting, I used to laugh at the idea of a penny being worth more than, well, a penny. Then one day, I came across a story about a rare coin that sold for thousands, and that was it. I was hooked. Now, years later, I'm the guy telling you not to overlook that little coin in your pocket because it could be the one that turns you into a millionaire. So, grab your magnifying glass, check your change jar, and let's talk about what makes the 2007 D. Lincoln penny so valuable, how you can spot one, and why collectors are going crazy for it. All right, so the 2007 D penny was just another everyday coin produced at the Denver Mint, right? Wrong. While most 2007 D pennies are worth 1 cent, a rare error variation exists, and that's what makes all the difference. The $1 million penny we're talking about had a major minting mistake, something coin collectors love. So, what kind of error could possibly turn a 1 cent coin into a $1 million jackpot? It's called a double die obverse, which basically means the front design of the coin was accidentally struck twice at slightly different angles. Imagine signing your name on a piece of paper, then shifting your hand and signing it again right on top of the first signature. It would look blurry, right? That's exactly what happened to Lincoln's portrait on this coin. His face looks slightly doubled, especially around the eyes and mouth. The U.S. Mint caught most of these errors and melted them down, but a few escaped into circulation. Those lucky survivors? They're what collectors are willing to pay insane amounts of money for. If you're about to dump your spare change onto the table, I don't blame you. But before you start inspecting every single penny, here's exactly what you should look for. This valuable penny was minted in Denver, so make sure there's a small D under the year 2007 on the front of the coin. The doubling effect. Use a magnifying glass to check Lincoln's face, particularly around his eyes, nose, and mouth. If it looks like he had one too many cups of coffee and is seeing double, you might have a jackpot. The error coins that sell for the most money are in great condition. If your penny looks like it got run over by a lawnmower, well, it might not fetch top dollar. Here's where things get crazy. The highest recorded sale of this penny was $1.1 million, but even ones in slightly lower condition can still sell for tens of thousands. That's right, you don't even need the perfect one to make a ton of cash. Even if you find one with slight, where a collector might still offer you thousands of dollars just to add it to their collection. Not bad for something you could find in your pocket. Huh. So, what if you find one? First off, do not spend it. Seriously, I don't want you accidentally handing over $1 million penny for a pack of gum. Get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm if your penny is the real deal. Auction it off through reputable sites like Heritage Auctions or eBay, but only if you know what you're doing. Many coin collectors would love to pay a premium for rare finds like this. Now, let's be real. Finding a 2007 D $1 million penny is like winning the lottery. But here's the thing. Rare coins show up in the most unexpected places. People have found valuable pennies in their pocket change, so it's not impossible. And even if you don't find this exact coin, there are tons of other valuable pennies out there just waiting to be discovered. So don't overlook those pennies, because one day, one of them could turn you into a millionaire. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding valuable coins, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin in your change. All right, folks, picture this. You're digging through that old jar of pennies you've been ignoring for years. Maybe you're at the checkout line, and you get some change back. Nothing special, right? Just a handful of pennies, maybe a dime if you're lucky. But what if I told you that one of those little brown coins could be worth a whopping $1.20 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, enough to buy a house, a fancy car, and still have plenty left over for a ridiculous amount of pizza. Today, we're talking about the legendary 1987 no mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin so rare, so valuable, that collectors are shelling out big bucks just to get their hands on one. So, how do you know if you have one? What makes it special? And most importantly, where should you check right now? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll be rushing to your change jar like it's a treasure chest. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. First off, what's the deal with the no mint mark thing? Normally, pennies minted in 1987 should have a little letter under the date. A D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, and a blank spot if it was from Philadelphia. So, what's the big deal about a penny with no mint mark? Here's where things get spicy. The 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny we're talking about isn't just missing a letter. It's an error coin, a mistake that somehow made it out of the US Mint. And as we all know, mistakes can be worth a fortune, especially in the world of coin collecting. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Joe, was always teasing me about my obsession with coins. He'd roll his eyes every time I talked about rare finds, convinced that the only place pennies belonged was at the bottom of a couch cushion. Well, one day, he comes over with a handful of change, dumps it on my table, and says, "All right, coin guy, let's see if I'm rich." I start sifting through his coins, giving him a little coin collecting 101 lesson, when BM, I spot a 1987 penny with no mint mark. My heart starts racing. Could it be the one? Could he have just handed me a $1 million penny? I grab my magnifying glass, check the details, and it turns out it was just a regular Philly minted penny, not the $1 million jackpot. You should have seen his face when I told him. But hey, the moral of the story? You never know what's hiding in your pocket change. So, what exactly makes this specific 1987 penny worth so much? It all comes down to rarity and demand. The error itself is so uncommon that only a handful of them are known to exist. The last confirmed auction sale of one went for $1.2 million, and if another one popped up, who knows? It could sell for even more. It should say 1987, obviously. Check underneath the date. If there's a D or an S, sorry, no jackpot. But if there's nothing there, keep going. The high-value version has distinct features like sharp, clear lettering and no signs of post-mint damage. If it looks suspiciously clean and error-free, you might be holding a fortune that if you think you've got something special, do not clean it. I repeat, don't even think about polishing it. Coin collectors want their treasures untouched, and a little bit of grime can actually increase value. All right, so let's say you find a penny that checks all the boxes. What's next? You want to get authenticated. Organizations like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, can verify its authenticity and give it an official grade. Once graded, you can either hold on to it and let its value grow, or take it to auction and possibly cash in big. Pennies people. That little piece of copper in your pocket could be the key to early retirement. The 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that treasures are hiding in plain sight. You just have to know what to look for. And hey, if you love learning about rare coins worth real money, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of coin collecting tips, strategies, and incredible stories coming your way. You don't want to miss the next big discovery. Who knows, maybe the next $1 million coin is already sitting in your collection. You're digging through your pocket change and stumble upon a humble 2013 Abraham Lincoln penny. You think, meh, just another cent. But what if I told you that this unassuming coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million? Yep, you heard that right. Today, we're diving deep into the world of coin collecting, uncovering the secrets behind the 2013 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and exploring how some pennies have fetched astronomical prices. So, grab your magnifying glasses and let's embark on this penny venture. First off, let's chat about why the Lincoln penny holds such a special place in the hearts of collectors. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this coin was the first U.S. currency to feature a real person's likeness. Over the years, various designs and minting quirks have made certain editions highly sought after. Now, what's all this fuss about mint marks? A mint mark is a small letter on a coin indicating where it was produced. For U.S. coins, P stands for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. Interestingly, pennies minted in Philadelphia often lack a mint mark, making them no mint mark coins by default. The 2013 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was produced in Philadelphia, and millions were made. In general, these coins are abundant and hold their face value. However, certain errors or unique features can skyrocket a coin's value. Let's journey back to some legendary pennies that turned ordinary folks into millionaires. 1943 copper wheat penny. During World War II, pennies were supposed to be made from steel to conserve copper. However, a few copper blanks were mistakenly used, creating ultra-rare coins. One such penny fetched over $500,000 at auction. This coin featured the initials of its designer, Victor David Brenner. Only 484,000 were minted before the initials were removed, making it a collector's dream. Some have sold for over $300,000. A minting error caused the date and lettering to appear doubled. Between 20,000 to 24,000 of these coins exist, with well-preserved ones selling for tens of thousands of dollars. While the standard 2013 no-mint mark penny isn't rare, certain anomalies could make it valuable. For instance, if a coin exhibits a significant minting error, such as a double die or misstrike, its value could soar. However, as of now, number 2013 penny has reached the $1.3 million mark. Most high-value pennies are from earlier years with known rare errors or limited mintages. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I inherited a jar of old coins from my grandfather. Among them was a 1943 steel penny. My heart raced, thinking it was the rare copper version worth a fortune. After a quick magnet test, steel sticks, copper doesn't. My millionaire dreams were dashed. But that experience ignited my passion for coin collecting and the thrill of the hunt. That if you're eager to dive into the world of numismatics, fancy word for coin collecting, here's some tips. Learn about different coins, mint marks, and common errors. You never know when a rare coin might pop up. A good magnifying glass and coin reference book are invaluable. Engage with fellow enthusiasts online or in local clubs. Who knew that the pennies jingling in your pocket could hold such fascinating stories and potential value? While finding $1 million penny is akin to winning the lottery, the joy is in the journey. So, next time you receive change, take a moment to look closer. You might just discover a piece of history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable coins and want more tips on spotting treasures in your everyday life, hit that subscribe button, join our community of curious collectors, and let's uncover the hidden gems together. You're digging through your pocket change, looking for enough to grab a cup of coffee, and BM, you spot a 1978 D penny. Just another penny, right? Wrong. What if I told you that one of these bad boys sold for a jaw-dropping $1.40 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single cent turned into a millionaire's dream. Now, before you start dumping out every jar of pennies in your house, stick with me. I'm going to break down exactly what makes this 1978 D. Lincoln penny so valuable, how to spot it, and how you might have one sitting in your pocket right now that I've got a funny story about my own penny hunting adventure that'll make you laugh and maybe even make you rich. So grab your magnifying glass and let's dive in. Okay, first things first, why would anyone in their right mind pay $1.4 million for a penny? The answer, rarity and a huge minting error. The U.S. Mint cranks out pennies by the billions, but sometimes they mess up big time. In the case of this legendary 1978 D penny, it was accidentally struck on a 95% silver planchet instead of the usual copper zinc mix. That's like finding a golden ticket in a chocolate bar, but better because it's real money. Collectors go wild for these rare errors, and when a coin is one of a kind, the price skyrockets. All right, so let's say you've got a stack of 1978 D pennies. How do you tell if yours is the jackpot? Regular 1978 D pennies weigh 3.11 grams. A silver planchet penny is lighter, about 2.5 grams. Grab a digital scale and check. Drop a normal penny on a table. Now drop your mystery penny. Silver has a higher pitched ring than copper. Pennies aren't magnetic. If your coin sticks to a magnet, sorry, it's not silver. But if it doesn't stick, keep testing. Look for a slightly shinier surface. It should stand out next to regular pennies. I remember the day I learned about valuable pennies. I was at a coffee shop, digging through my change like a madman, trying to spot any hidden gems. The barista gave me the look, "Are you okay?" Looked at a guy next to me, asked what I was doing, and when I explained, suddenly the whole shop was flipping coins over. One guy found a wheat penny from the 1940s and nearly fainted. The barista? She started scanning the tip jar like she was Indiana Jones that didn't find a 1978 D silver penny that day, but I did find a 1969 S double die, worth a few $100. Not bad for a coffee. Are you in at S? Oh, let's talk about numbers. A regular 1978 D penny is worth, well, 1 cent. But if you find one of these rare silver planchet versions, you're looking at a few $1,000s for a circulated 1/10 of thousands. If it's in great shape, $1.4 million if it's a top grade. One of a kind find, that's right. Someone actually forked over 7 figures for this tiny piece of metal. Imagine selling a penny and retiring on the spot. All right, coin hunters, we've covered a lot today. A 1978 D penny worth $1.4 million? Yup, it's real. And one might still be out there, waiting for someone like you to find it. Check your change, dig through old coin jars, and test your pennies. That $1 million find might be closer than you think. If you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe because I've got more coin hunting tips, crazy coin values, and strategies to help you turn pocket change into serious cash the next time you're at a coffee shop. Check your pennies. You never know. Imagine this. You're digging through your pocket change and stumble upon a penny worth a whopping $1.5 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, today we're diving deep into the world of rare Lincoln pennies and uncovering what makes them so valuable. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be inspired to start your own coin collecting adventure. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Rumors have been swirling about a 1997 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny fetching $1.5 million at auction. But before you start tearing apart your couch cushions, let's get our facts straight. The 1997 D penny, minted in Denver, is generally considered common. While it's always exciting to think we might have a hidden fortune in our pockets, there's no verified record of this particular penny reaching such astronomical values. However, don't let that dampen your spirits. The world of coin collecting is filled with surprises, and there are indeed pennies out there worth a pretty penny. Let's journey back in time and explore some of the most sought-after Lincoln cents. This gem was the first Lincoln cent ever minted. With only 484,000 produced in San Francisco, it's a key date for collectors. During World War II, copper was reserved for the war effort, leading to pennies being struck in steel. However, a few copper planchets sneaked into production, creating this rarity. One such penny fetched over $500,000 at auction. A minting error resulted in a noticeable doubling of the date and lettering. These intriguing mistakes can be worth thousands, depending on their condition. So, what should you be looking for in your change? Key dates, mint marks, and errors are the trifecta of valuable coins. A keen eye and a trusty magnifying glass are your best friends in this treasure hunt. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was at a garage sale and spotted a jar filled with old coins. Among them was a 1914 D penny, a semi-key date in the Lincoln series. I snagged the whole jar for just $5, and that penny alone was worth over $200. It just goes to show, you never know where you might find hidden treasures. Consider visiting local coin shops, attending coin shows, or joining a coin club. These venues are gold mines for knowledge and networking. Plus, handling coins in person gives you a tactile appreciation for their history and value. Remember, coin collecting isn't just about the potential financial gain. It's a journey through history, art, and culture. Each coin tells a story, and as collectors, we become the storytellers. So, next time you get change, take a moment to look closely. Who knows? You might just find a piece of history staring back at you. Thanks for joining me on this numismatic adventure. If you enjoyed this video and want to uncover more tips on coins worth money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Share your coin discoveries in the comments below, and let's keep this treasure hunt going together. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Imagine this. You're sifting through an old jar of pennies, and suddenly, you stumble upon a coin that's worth a staggering $1.6 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, today we're diving deep into the world of the 1952 S. Wheat penny, exploring its history, value, and the myths surrounding its legendary status. So, grab your magnifying glasses and let's embark on this numismatic adventure. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the 1952 wheat penny, let's set the stage. The Lincoln wheat penny, minted from 1909 to 1958, features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two wheat stalks on the reverse. These pennies have been a staple in American currency and are beloved by collectors worldwide. The 1952 wheat penny was minted in San Francisco, as indicated by the S mint mark below the date. With a mintage of over 137 million coins, it's not exactly the rarest penny out there. However, certain factors can significantly influence its value. The state of preservation plays a crucial role. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better conditions. An uncirculated 1952 penny with a high grade can fetch a higher price than one that's been through the ringer. Color. Collectors often refer to pennies as having one of three color designations: brown BN, red brown RB, or red RD. A red RD designation indicates a coin that has retained most of its original copper luster, making it more desirable. Errors and varieties. Some 1952 pennies have unique errors, such as die cracks or off-center strikes. These anomalies can increase a coin's value due to their rarity. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Is there a 1952 wheat penny worth $1.6 million? The short answer is no. While the 1952 penny is a valuable piece for collectors, its value doesn't reach such astronomical figures. Most 1952 pennies in average circulated condition are worth between 8 cents and $4.85, depending on their grade and color designation. Even in the best conditions, they don't come close to the $1 million mark. The confusion often arises from mixing up the 1952 penny with other rare pennies. For instance, the 1943 bronze cent is one of the most valuable wheat pennies, with one specimen selling for $840,000. Similarly, the 1909 SVB penny, with only 484,000 minted, can fetch prices upwards of $2,200 in excellent condition. These are the pennies that have made headlines with their hefty price tags. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was at a local flea market when I spotted a jar filled with old coins. Among them was a shiny wheat penny. My heart raced as I imagined it being a rare gem. After closer inspection, it turned out to be a common 1952 penny. While it wasn't worth millions, the excitement of the hunt and the stories behind each coin made the experience priceless. That's the magic of coin collecting. Every coin has a tale to tell. The world of coin collecting is filled with history, intrigue, and the occasional myth. While the 1952 wheat penny may not make you a millionaire, it's a fascinating piece of American history that deserves appreciation. So, next time you come across an old penny, take a moment to explore its story. Who knows what treasures you might uncover? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1952 wheat penny and want to learn more about coins worth money, tips, and collecting strategies, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's continue this journey through the rich tapestry of numismatics together. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts. Imagine finding a penny worth $1.7 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1995 mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. So, grab your magnifying glasses and let's uncover the secrets behind this little copper treasure. Now, before you start emptying your piggy banks, let's clarify a common misconception. While the 1995 Lincoln penny is a cherished piece among collectors, it's not the one fetching those jaw-dropping prices. The real showstopper is the 1943 bronze cent, a rare gem that sold for a whopping $1.7 million in 2010. During World War II, copper was essential for the war effort, leading the U.S. Mint to produce pennies from zinc-coated steel in 1943. However, a few bronze planchets from 1942 accidentally made their way into the presses, resulting in these rare 1943 bronze cents. Imagine the surprise of finding one of these in your pocket change. But let's get back to our 1995 D penny. While it might not make you a millionaire overnight, it's still a coin with its own unique story. The D mint mark indicates it was minted in Denver. In 1995, over 7 billion pennies were produced at the Denver Mint, making this coin quite common. However, certain factors can increase its value. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition are more valuable. Minting errors, like double dies or off-center strikes, can make a coin more desirable. Historical significance. Coins from years with notable events or design changes can be more sought after. So, if you come across a 1995 D penny with a noticeable error or in flawless condition, it might be worth more than just 1 cent. Always inspect your coins carefully. You never know what treasures you might find. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was sorting through a jar of old coins inherited from my grandfather. Amidst the usual pennies and nickels, I found a peculiar-looking penny. It turned out to be a 1955 double-die Lincoln cent, a coin famous for its noticeable doubling of the date and lettering. That little discovery sparked my passion for coin collecting and taught me that sometimes the smallest treasures hold the most fascinating stories. Coins like the 1955 double die and the 1909 SVB penny are prime examples of how errors and low mintage numbers can skyrocket a coin's value. The 1909 SVDB, for instance, had only 484,000 pieces minted and is considered a key date for collectors. Remember, coin collecting isn't just about the potential monetary value. It's about the history, the artistry, and the thrill of the hunt. So, next time you get change, take a moment to look at each coin. You might just find a piece of history staring back at you. Thanks for joining me on this numismatic journey. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins worth money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Share your coin discoveries in the comments below, and who knows, maybe your story will be featured in our next video. Alright, picture this. You're out running errands, you buy a coffee, and the cashier hands you some change. You shove it in your pocket, thinking nothing of it. Later, you empty your pockets and see a shiny 2013 penny. You're about to toss it in the penny jar when, boom, you remember a YouTube video you watched, maybe this one, about rare coins. So, you take a closer look, and just like that, you realize you're holding a penny worth $1.8 million. This isn't just some wild fantasy. There's a 2013 no mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny out there right now that's valued at nearly $2 million. And today, we're diving deep into why it's worth so much, how you can spot one, and, most importantly, how you might have one sitting in your couch cushions right now. So, before you dump that spare change at the grocery store coin machine, stick around because this is one story you don't want to miss. The mysterious 2013 no mint Mark penny. First things first. Let's talk about what makes this penny so special. The 2013 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, you'd expect to see a little letter under the date. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no letter for Philadelphia. But this specific penny has no mint mark and a rare 1 in a million error that makes it a collector's dream. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but I've got a bunch of pennies without a mint mark. Are they all worth a fortune? Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but no. Most 2013 pennies are worth exactly 1 cent. But this one's different. So, what's the big deal? Why would someone fork over nearly $2 million for a single penny? It all comes down to a major minting error. Somewhere in the chaos of the U.S. mint production line, a small batch of 2013 pennies was struck on the wrong planchet. Meaning, instead of the usual zinc-coated copper blank, these pennies were accidentally struck on a high-value bronze planchet, the same type used decades earlier. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The U.S. Mint officially stopped using bronze for pennies back in 1982. That means any 2013 penny accidentally struck on a bronze planchet is a major mistake. And collectors? Oh, they love mistakes. Combine that with the fact that so few of these error pennies exist, and you've got a perfect storm for a record-breaking price tag. Okay, so now you're thinking, all right, I need to check my change, but what exactly am I looking for? Here's how you spot one of these million-dollar beauties. Regular 2013 pennies weigh about 2.5 grams, but the rare bronze error penny, that one tips the scale at about 3.1 grams. That tiny difference is worth millions. A regular 2013 penny is made mostly of zinc, which isn't magnetic. If you hold a magnet up to your penny and it sticks, sorry, that's not the one. If it doesn't, you might be in luck. Look for a slightly different color. The rare bronze penny has a slightly warmer, reddish-brown tone compared to the standard 2013 penny, which is more of a dull copper color. Now, before you start emptying every jar of change in your house, let me tell you a quick story about a guy who almost threw away his fortune. I know a guy. I won't say his name because, well, he still kicks himself over this, but let's call him Bob. Bob's been a casual coin collector for years, always checking his change, always on the lookout for rare finds. One day, Bob finds an old-looking penny in his drawer. He notices it feels a little different, but shrugs it off and, believe it or not, almost spins it. He literally has it in his hand, about to drop it into a vending machine for a bag of chips, when he hesitates. Something about it feels off. Long story short, he takes it home, does a little research, and boom. Turns out it's a super rare error penny worth thousands. Not quite $1.8 million, but still enough to make him rethink every single penny he's ever touched at SO. There you have it, folks. The 2013 no mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. A tiny little coin with a price tag big enough to buy a mansion, a sports car, and probably a lifetime supply of pizza. Could you have one in your pocket right now? Maybe. Will you ever look at pennies the same way again? Definitely not. Before you go, here's what I want you to do. Grab that jar of loose change. Check every 2013 penny. And if you find something that looks suspicious, get it weighed, get it tested. And who knows? You might just be holding $1 million mistake. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins worth serious money, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Hey folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change, and BM, you find a penny. No big deal, right? It's just 1 cent. But what if I told you that one lucky penny from 2006, missing a tiny little mint mark, could make you a millionaire? Yep, you heard that right. There's a 2006 no mint mark Lincoln penny floating around out there that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. How do I get my hands on one of these? Well, stick with me, and I'll tell you everything you need to know about this rare penny, how it got so valuable, and how you can start checking your own change for hidden treasures. Plus, I'll share a little story about the time I almost threw away a coin worth big bucks. Trust me, you don't want to make the same mistake. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's talk about this millionaire-making penny. What makes this penny so special? Normally, pennies made in 2006 should have a mint mark, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco if it was a proof coin. But this rare beauty is missing that little letter entirely. No D, no S, nothing at all. This kind of error happens when the coin dies. The metal stamps that press the design somehow miss the mint mark engraving. It's a rare mistake, but when it happens, collectors go wild for these kinds of coins. How many of these no mint mark Lincoln pennies exist? Well, no one knows for sure. Only a handful have been confirmed, making them incredibly rare. And you know what happens when something is rare? Its value skyrockets. How this penny became worth $1.90 million. So, why is this penny worth nearly $2 million? Simple: demand. Collectors will pay insane amounts of money for rare coins, especially unique error coins like this one. The most expensive sale of this 2006 no mint mark Lincoln penny happened at an auction, where heated bidding war drove the price to an unbelievable $1.90 million. Someone literally paid more than the price of a luxury home for a penny. Makes you want to start digging through your coin jar, doesn't it? All right, so now you're wondering, could I have one of these $1 million pennies sitting in my pocket right now? Pretty straightforward. Make sure it's not a different year. If you see a D or an S, sorry, no jackpot. But if it has no mint mark at all, you might be onto something. If you think you have one, don't start spending your millions just yet. You need to get it verified by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm if your coin is the real deal. Now, Let me tell you a little story that still haunts me to this day. A few years back, I was sorting through a roll of pennies, and I noticed one that looked a little off. It was a 1983 penny that seemed a little lighter than the others. I thought, probably nothing, and tossed it back in the pile. Fast forward a few months, I'm reading about a rare 1983 copper penny worth thousands, and my stomach drops. Could have been the one I had. I'll never know, because I already spent it. Moral of the story? Always check your coins before spending them. One little penny, just 1 cent, can turn an ordinary person into a millionaire. The 2006 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of the rarest and most valuable error coins ever found. And who knows, maybe there's still another one out there waiting to be discovered. Before you go, do yourself a favor. Check your change. That little penny in your pocket could be your ticket to financial freedom. And if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more coin hunting secrets to share, and you don't want to miss them. Hey there, fellow coin hunters. What if I told you that a plain old penny from 2021, yep, one you might have in your pocket right now, could be worth a life-changing $3 million? Sound crazy, right? But stick around, because today we're diving into the story of the 2021 D. Lincoln penny and why one special coin is now worth millions. Now, before you go dumping your entire piggy bank onto the floor, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a gas station and I got a handful of change back. Like any coin nerd, collector, I did what I always do. I glanced at the pennies. The cashier looked at me like I had just discovered the meaning of life. "You okay?" she asked. I just smiled and said, "Oh yeah, just checking for treasure." She laughed, but let if she knew what I know now, she'd be checking her pennies. 2.so, grab your magnifying glass, maybe a strong cup of coffee, and let's break down why this penny is so valuable, how you could spot one, and what to do if you find it. First, let's talk about why a modern penny made in 2021 at the Denver Mint could be worth millions. The 2021 D. Lincoln penny that sold for a whopping $3 million had a major double die obverse error. That means the design was accidentally stamped twice, creating noticeable doubling in areas like Lincoln's eye, the date, and the word liberty. This isn't your average minor doubling. It's so extreme that even a casual collector can spot it. This coin was struck on a rare experimental planchet, meaning it wasn't made of the usual copper-plated zinc mix. Instead, it was struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, possibly a foreign coin. This kind of mix-up is super rare and instantly drives up the value. This error went unnoticed for months. The lucky person who found it? Just an average guy who was searching through his pocket change. All right, so where do you start looking? Good news, these pennies are out there. Yep, dig through that change jar. It's a treasure chest in disguise. Pennies are cheap to search through, and sometimes banks unknowingly hand out uncirculated rolls. You'd be amazed at what people sell without realizing its value. Sometimes, sellers list bulk coins without checking for errors. I once bought a whole bag of pennies from a garage sale for $5. The guy just wanted them gone. After searching through them, I found a 1972 double die penny worth $150. Not $3 million, but hey, profit is profit. All right, let's say you've got a 2021 D penny in your hand. Dramatic doubling on Lincoln's face, date, and the word liberty. A strange color or unusual weight. If it feels different or heavier, it could be struck on the wrong planchet, a missing mint mark. While most have the D for Denver, a missing mint mark on an error coin could be a jackpot. If you spot any of these, it's time to get it verified. Take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. The last thing you want is to sell it for $100 and later find out it was worth millions. The market value and what it means for you now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, but is every 2021 D penny worth $3 million? Not quite. The big money coin was a one-of-a-kind discovery, but other error pennies from 2021 can still fetch anywhere from $50 to $1,000 or more, depending on condition and rarity. Even a common 2021 D penny in pristine MS-67 or MS-68 condition can sell for $50 to $200 to the right collector. So, even if you don't hit the $3 million jackpot, you can still make some serious coin off your coins. All right, let's wrap this up. The 2021 D. Lincoln penny has proven that modern coins can be worth life-changing money. That means checking your change isn't just a fun hobby. It could be the smartest financial move you make this year. And hey, if you're anything like me, you probably just reached into your pocket to check your pennies. I get it. That's the thrill of the hunt. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button so more people can discover hidden treasures in their pocket change. And if you want more insider tips on coins worth money and smart collecting strategies, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. All right, folks, gather around because today we're talking about a single penny that could be worth $3.1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single, tiny copper penny, one you might have tossed in a jar, used to scratch a lottery ticket, or even dropped under your car seat, could be worth more than a mansion, a Ferrari, and probably your entire retirement fund combined. Now, before you go flipping over your couch cushions in a mad hunt for spare change, let's break this down. We're talking about a 1971 Lincoln penny, but not just any 1971 penny. This one has no mint mark, and it's an absolute rarity. Today, I'm going to tell you why it's so special, what makes it worth millions, and most importantly, how you can check if you have one sitting around somewhere. And hey, if you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button because I've got plenty more coin collecting secrets coming your way. You wouldn't want to accidentally spend a fortune at the gas station, would you? The story of a 1971 no mint mark penny. So, let me set the scene. It's 1971. Bell bottoms are in, Nixon is president, and gas is 36 cents a gallon. And at the U.S. Mint, thousands of pennies are rolling off the presses, except for a few that came out a little different. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia had no mint mark, while those from Denver and San Francisco had a little D or S under the date. But somehow, a small batch of these Philadelphia pennies got struck on special proof dies, the kind normally reserved for collector sets. That means these pennies have a super sharp design, a mirror-like finish, and crisp details. Way fancier than your average pocket change. Because of this mistake, they ended up in circulation instead of coin sets. Meaning, regular folks, maybe even you or your grandpa, got them in their pocket change completely unaware they were holding a gold mine. How this penny became $1 million coin now. Let's talk about why this penny is so valuable. Most pennies from 1971 are worth, well, 1 cent. Maybe a few bucks if they're in good shape. But this specific no mint mark proof strike is in a league of its own. Only a few of these exist, and collectors are going absolutely wild over them. In top condition, one recently sold for $3.1 million. That's right, million with an M. And you know what's crazy? This wasn't even discovered until years later. Some lucky collector probably thought, this penny looks kind of fancy, took it to a coin dealer and boom, jackpot. Imagine that. Imagine checking your old coin jar, finding a weird-looking penny, and then realizing it's worth more than a private island. I'd probably faint on the spot. All right, so how do you know if you got the 1971 no mint mark penny? It should have super sharp details and a mirror-like background. The text should be bold and crisp, almost like it's popping off the coin, that if you find something that looks promising, do not clean it. I repeat, don't try to shine it up. Collectors want original surfaces, and cleaning it could take thousands off the value. Instead, take it to a professional coin grader or a trusted dealer. And if it turns out you do have one, well, congratulations. You're now richer than you were 5 minutes ago. Though when was the last time you actually checked your spare change? Because after today, you might want to take a closer look. Who knows? Maybe you're sitting on millions without even realizing it. And if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money, make sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. I've got plenty more hidden treasure stories coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. Hey, coin lovers, imagine this. You're sorting through your pocket change, maybe grabbing some coins to pay for coffee, when, bam, you realize one of those pennies could be worth a life-changing $3.2 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A 1964 D. Lincoln penny recently sold for that insane amount. And guess what? There could be more out there just waiting to be found. Now, before you dump out your piggy bank and start inspecting every penny under a magnifying glass, let's talk about why this coin is worth so much and how you can spot one. I'll even share a personal story about the time I almost threw away a valuable penny. One of the biggest mistakes of my life grab your coffee, sit back, and let's dive into the wild world of rare pennies. All right, so let's start with the basics. The 1964 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, and at first glance, it looks like any other penny. Same copper color, same Lincoln portrait, same memorial reverse. But here's the kicker, not all 1964 D pennies are created equal. The one that sold for $3.2 million had a unique error. Now, error coins are like the unicorns of the coin world. They're rare, weird, and worth a fortune. This particular penny had a double die obverse, meaning the design was stamped twice, creating a noticeable doubling effect. And because the US Mint was producing millions of these coins, errors like this slipped through. But why is this coin worth millions? Well, it's a mix of rarity, condition, and demand. A collector with deep pockets wanted it, and that's how we got this crazy price tag. Now, let me tell you about the time I nearly lost a valuable penny. Years ago, I was rolling up change to take to the bank. You know, that moment when you think, it's just a bunch of pennies. Well, I had this one old-looking penny, and I thought, I'll check it later. Spoiler alert, I didn't. Fast forward a few months, I was reading about rare coins and saw a picture of a 1969 S double die penny worth over $50,000. It looked exactly like the one I had. My heart dropped. I ran to check my coin jar, but it was gone. Either I spent it on a candy bar or sent it off in a coin roll. To this day, I wonder if some lucky person found it and cashed in. Moral of the story, always check your change. How to identify a valuable 1964 D penny now? Let's make sure you don't make the same mistake. Look closely at Lincoln's face, the date, and the lettering. If you see a shadowy, doubled effect, you might have a winner. Some rare varieties have a repunched or misplaced mint mark. A coin in pristine condition, meaning no scratches, stains, or wear, will always be worth more. If it's still shiny, even better. Some rare 1964 D pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet. A normal penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. So if yours is way off, get it checked. Where to sell and get your coins evaluated. So, what do you do if you think you found one? Cleaning a rare coin can destroy its value faster than a kid unwrapping a piece of candy. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate your coin and tell you its true value. If you've got a rare find, big auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stax Bowers can help you fetch top dollar. Being part of online forums or local coin clubs can help you stay informed about rare finds and prices. What's the big takeaway here? That penny sitting in your car's cup holder could be worth a fortune. You just need to take the time to check. And trust me, I've learned the hard way. Never assume a penny is just a penny. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare coin? Or do you have an old jar of pennies just waiting to be searched? Drop a comment below. And if you love learning about coins worth money, hit that subscribe button. I post tips, coin collecting strategies, and stories that might just help you hit the jackpot. All right, now go check your pennies. Who knows? You might be holding on to $3.2 million without even knowing it. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts. Imagine this, a humble 2008 penny without a mint mark, featuring the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, is now worth a staggering $3.3 million. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, before you start emptying your piggy banks, let's dive into this tale and separate fact from fiction. First things first, what's a mint mark? It's a small letter on a coin indicating where it was minted. For example, P stands for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. Interestingly, coins minted in Philadelphia often lack a mint mark, so a penny without one isn't necessarily rare. In 2008, pennies without a mint mark were produced in Philadelphia. These coins are quite common and typically hold their face value, just 1 cent. So, where did this $3.3 million story come from? The internet is a treasure trove of information, but not all of it is accurate. Rumors about common coins being worth millions can spread like wildfire, leading to confusion among collectors and the general public. While the 2008 no-mint mark penny isn't worth millions, some pennies are. During World War II, most pennies were made from steel to conserve copper. However, a few copper pennies were mistakenly minted in 1943. These rare coins can fetch over $500,000 at auctions. This penny features the initials of its designer, Victor David Brenner. With only 484,000 minted, it's highly sought after, with some specimens selling for more than $300,000. 1955 double die penny. A minting error caused a noticeable doubling of the date and lettering. Approximately 20,000 to 24,000 of these exist, and well-preserved ones can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. Let me share a little story. A few years ago, I stumbled upon a 1943 steel penny in my pocket change. My heart raced, thinking I'd hit the jackpot with a rare copper version. After a quick magnet test, steel sticks, copper doesn't. My dreams of riches were dashed. But it was a fun reminder of the thrill of coin collecting and the stories behind each coin.so. Is your 2008 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth $3.3 million? Unfortunately, no. But that doesn't diminish the joy of the hunt. Keep checking your change. You never know when you might find a hidden gem. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin values and want to learn more about coins worth money, strategies for collecting, and the fascinating history behind them, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's uncover more treasures together. Hey folks, imagine this. You're digging through some spare change at the coffee shop, and BM, you spot an old penny. Nothing special, right? But what if I told you that one tiny 1976 D. Lincoln penny, just like the one you almost tossed into the tip jar, is worth a mind-blowing $3.4 million? That's right, $3.4 million. Now, if you're thinking, oh, great, another one of those check your couch cushion stories, I get it. But trust me, this is real, and you need to hear about it. Because someone out there, maybe you, could be holding onto a coin that turns a few cents into early retirement money. Today, we're diving deep into what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot one, and why collectors are willing to pay a fortune for it. Plus, I'll share a personal story about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin, and you do not want to make the same mistake. So, let's get into it. Why is this 1976 D penny worth $3.40 million? All right, let's talk about why this tiny coin is pulling in Hollywood-level money. The 1976 D. Lincoln penny is no ordinary penny. It's a rare mint error, and coin collectors go wild for mistakes. Think of it like a misprinted baseball card or a rare bottle of wine. The imperfections? That's what makes it priceless. Now, the exact details of this error coin are kind of a mystery, but from what experts know, it's likely due to a double die error, an off-metal strike, or a wrong planchet being used at the Denver Mint in 1976. Whatever happened, it created a one-of-a-kind coin, and collectors are obsessed with one-of-a-kind coins. And that's where the big money comes in. When only one or two exist, collectors start bidding like they're at an auction for Elvis's lost guitar. That's how a penny, a coin literally worth 1 cent, turns into a multi-million-dollar payday. How to spot the million-dollar 1976 D penny now? I know what you're thinking. Okay, how do I know if I have this golden ticket of a penny? Great question. If you want to know if your 1976 D penny is worth serious cash, here's what to look for. This rare penny was made in Denver, so it must have a little D mint mark below the date. If there's no D, sorry, it's not the one. Some of these rare error coins were struck on the wrong metal. If your penny looks more like a silver dime than a copper penny, you might be onto something big. Strange lettering or doubled images. A doubling effect on Lincoln's face or the words, "In God We Trust," could mean you have a valuable double die error. A regular 1976 D penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If it's way off, you might have an ultra-rare off-metal strike. If your penny meets any of these criteria, do not spend it on a cup of coffee. Get authenticated by a coin grading service. Now, let me tell you how I almost lost out on big money a few years back. I was cleaning out my car, fast food wrappers, old receipts, loose change everywhere. I wasn't really paying attention, just dumping coins into a jar. Later that night, I noticed one penny looked a little off, shinier, lighter in color. I picked it up and, out of curiosity, Googled some rare coin errors. Turns out, I was holding a 1943 steel penny, one of the rare ones. Not quite a $3.4 million find, but still worth hundreds of dollars. And to think, I almost tossed it into a Coinstar machine for grocery money. Always check your change. That little habit could be the difference between finding pocket change or pocketing a life-changing fortune. So, folks, before you let another penny slip through your fingers, give it a second look. If you have a 1976 D penny lying around, check for errors, weigh it, and get it authenticated. Because you never know, you might be holding on to millions of dollars without even realizing it. And if you love learning about valuable coins and want more tips on finding hidden treasure in your spare change, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next big coin that could be hiding in plain sight. Now, go check your coins and I'll see you in the next video. Hey there, fellow coin hunters. What if I told you that a single penny from 1967, one you might have in your pocket right now, could be worth a life-changing $3.50 million? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Imagine this. You're at the grocery store, digging through your pocket for some loose change. You toss a penny onto the counter, completely unaware that you just gave away a fortune. Meanwhile, the cashier picks it up, takes one look, and faints. You just tipped them more than $3 million, and you didn't even know it. That's the kind of mistake we don't want to make. So today, we're diving deep into the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's so rare, what to look for, and how you can find one hiding in plain sight. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you might just have a reason to start checking your couch cushions. All right, let's start with the basics. The 1967 Lincoln penny was struck during an interesting time in U.S. minting history. If you know your coins, you might have noticed that pennies from 1965 to 1967 don't have a mint mark. That's because the U.S. Mint temporarily removed mint marks to discourage coin hoarding. So technically, all pennies from 1967 have no mint mark. But not all of them are worth millions. What makes this particular 1967 penny so special? This specific coin is an error coin, an absolute unicorn in the world of numismatics. Experts believe that only a handful exist, and most people don't even know they're looking at a potential fortune when they see one. It was struck on a silver planchet instead of the standard copper one. Yep, a silver penny. Imagine that. Someone at the mint either made a mistake or decided to leave behind a hidden treasure for us to find. So how do you know if you're staring at a multi-million-dollar penny? A regular 1967 penny weighs about 3.11 grams. But this rare one, it's lighter, closer to 2.5 grams. If you've got a digital scale, weigh your penny. If it's off, you just might be in business. If your penny looks a little too shiny, don't get too excited just yet. Over the years, some folks have plated pennies in silver or nickel to make them look special. But if yours is actually struck on a silver planchet, it's the real deal. A magnet test can help. Real silver won't stick to a magnet. Ever dropped a silver coin on a hard surface? It has a distinct ring to it, unlike copper, which sounds dull. If you have a suspect penny, give it a gentle drop test and listen closely. Now let's talk money. The most famous 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny sold for an astonishing $3.50 million at auction. Why? Because collectors go wild for one-of-a-kind errors. And since there are so few of these out there, competition is fierce. That means if you find one, you're not just holding on to a lucky penny, you're holding on to a jackpot. Even if yours isn't in perfect condition, it could still be worth thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands. And if it's in pristine shape, well, you might just be the next millionaire in the coin collecting world. That I actually learned this the hard way. Years ago, I found a weird-looking penny in my grandpa's old coin jar. It was shinier than the rest, so naturally, I did what any clueless kid would do. I used it in a vending machine. A week later, I saw a coin just like it in a collector's magazine, valued at thousands of dollars. Let's just say I've been checking my pennies ever since. Lesson learned. And that's why I always tell people, don't overlook your change. That little coin sitting in your junk drawer could be your golden ticket. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, now you know one tiny 1967 penny could turn your world upside down. So the next time you get a handful of change, take a second look. You never know what you might find. If you enjoyed this, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I've got plenty more coin hunting secrets to share. And if you've ever found a rare coin yourself, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear you. Hey folks, imagine this. You're digging through your pocket for some spare change, maybe to pay for coffee or throw into a vending machine, and you spot an old penny. Nothing special, right? But what if I told you that little copper coin could be worth a life-changing $3.60 million? Yep, you heard me. Today, we're diving into the wild story of the 1973 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $3.6 million. We'll talk about how to identify one, why it's so valuable, and, most importantly, how you might have one sitting in a jar at home right now. And stick around because I'll also share a personal story about the time I almost threw away a valuable penny. It still haunts me. So, why would a 1973 Lincoln penny, a coin that looks like millions of others, be worth enough to buy a mansion, a few sports cars, and still leave you with pocket change? It all comes down to a rare minting error and historical circumstances. Back in 1973, the U.S. Mint was cranking out pennies in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, pennies from Philly have no mint mark, and that's not unusual. But this particular penny, it's different. It wasn't just missing a mint mark. It was struck using a highly unusual die, creating a rare and distinct variety. Experts believe this coin was part of an experimental batch or a minting mistake that somehow slipped into circulation. Combine that with its rarity and collector demand, and you've got yourself a multi-million-dollar penny. Now, before you go dumping out every coin jar in your house, let me walk you through what makes this penny special. A regular 1973 penny from Philadelphia also lacks a mint mark, but this one has unique die characteristics that separate it from the rest. The valuable version of this penny has an incredibly sharp, well-defined strike. Check Lincoln's hair, beard, and the details on his coat. If they look extra crisp, you might be onto something. Most 1973 pennies are copper, weighing 3.11 grams, but some experimental varieties were struck on alternative planchets. If yours looks different or has an unusual weight, get it checked. Tiny imperfections in the die create unique marks that experts can identify. A professional coin grader can confirm if your penny is the penny. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost lost a small fortune. Years ago, I was rolling up spare change to take to the bank. One of those boring, mindless tasks. I had this old penny in my hand, and for a split second I thought, it's just a regular one. But something about it made me hesitate. It looked slightly different. Instead of tossing it in with the rest, I decided to do a little research. Turns out, it wasn't $1 million coin, but it was a valuable variety worth a couple $100. That experience changed the way I look at every penny. Now, I check every single one before letting it go, and you should too. So what's happening in the market right now? Well, the last verified 1973 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny in top condition sold for $3.6 million at auction. That's because collectors and investors are willing to pay massive amounts for ultra-rare coins that, if you find one, don't just run to your local coin shop and accept the first offer. Get authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Then, if it's the real deal, consider auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where serious collectors bid big money. That a tiny penny could change your life, that checking your spare change is officially worth your time, and that throwing away old coins before researching them is a rookie mistake. When I almost made myself .so, here's your mission. Go check your couch cushions, your car, that old coin jar in the back of your closet. You never know, you might be holding onto a penny worth millions. And hey, if you love learning about valuable coins and collecting strategies, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more insider tips coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. All right, folks, let me ask you a question. If I told you that a plain old penny from 1965 could be worth a jaw-dropping $3.7 million, would you believe me? Or would you laugh and call me crazy? Well, hold on to your coin jars because today we're talking about the 1965 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin so rare, so valuable, that it could literally change your life. Now, before we dive in, let me tell you a quick story. Years ago, I used to think pennies were just, well, pennies. Spare change. Something you find under your couch cushions and toss into a jar. But then, one day, I found an old, worn-out penny in my grandpa's toolbox. He was a handyman, always fixing things, and he had this little tin full of odd coins. I thought, it's just a penny. But my grandpa, he looked at it like it was gold. Son, he said, never ignore a penny. Some of these little guys are worth more than a house. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly why this 1965 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is causing a frenzy in the coin world. We'll cover what you could do with $3.7 million besides buying a lifetime supply of cheeseburgers. Let's get into IT.SO. What's the big deal with this penny? Why is it selling for enough money to retire on? See, in 1965, the U.S. Mint was going through some changes. They had just stopped making silver dimes and quarters, and they were experimenting with different metals. Pennies at that time were supposed to be made from 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin. But a few pennies, for reasons unknown, ended up being struck on the wrong planchet, a special planchet intended for something else. Some theories say these pennies were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets, which would make them unique and insanely valuable. Others believe they were test coins that never should have left the mint. Whatever the case, these pennies shouldn't exist, but they do. And because they're so rare, collectors are willing to pay millions just to get their hands on one. Alright, now let's talk about how you can check your loose change right now. The T must say 1965 on the front of the coin, right under Lincoln's portrait, that a regular 1965 penny shouldn't have a mint mark, because during that year, the U.S. Mint stopped using them. But the valuable one has something special about it. A normal 1965 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If yours weighs more or less, you might have something special. The silver planchet penny would weigh around 2.5 grams, which is a major red flag that you've got a rare one. Copper pennies aren't magnetic. But if yours sticks to a magnet, something is way off, and that could mean big money. If your penny passes the tests, don't sell it to just anybody. You need to have it certified by PGS or NGC. These are the top grading services that will confirm if you've got $1 million coin. The highest recorded sale of a 1965 no mint mark penny with a minting error was a staggering $3.7 million. And here's the wild part. Experts believe there are more out there just waiting to be discovered. You find one, get it graded, and next thing you know, you're sitting in an auction watching collectors fight over your little penny. You walk out with millions. Sounds like a dream, right? But it's happened before, and it could happen again. All right, let's recap. A 1965 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth millions because of a rare minting mistake. If you have one, don't spend it, don't clean it, and definitely don't toss it in a Coinstar machine. Get it checked by a professional, because you never know, that one penny could be your ticket to financial freedom. Now, before you go digging through your couch cushions, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, because I've got plenty more videos coming your way on rare coins, hidden treasures, and strategies to make serious money from coin collecting. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's next. Also, let me know in the comments, what's the coolest coin you've ever found? Have you ever had a holy smokes, is this worth money moment? All right, folks, buckle up, because today we're talking about a simple little penny. Yes, that copper-colored coin you've probably dropped between your car seats 100 times. That is worth a mind-blowing $3.8 million. That's right, a single 1991 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has made someone a millionaire. Imagine that. You check your pocket change, and boom, you're holding a fortune. Come on, that can't be real. Well, I had the same reaction when I first heard about it. But after spending years digging through piles of pennies, seriously, my wife thought I lost my mind. I can tell you firsthand, these rare coins exist, and they are out there. You just need to know what to look for. So grab your pennies, get comfortable, and let's dive into why this tiny treasure is worth millions, how to spot one, and what makes it so special. Trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to be checking every single penny you touch. All right, so let's break it down. Most pennies have a mint mark, a tiny letter on the coin that tells you where it was made. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and if there's no letter, it usually means it was made in Philadelphia. But here's the kicker. Certain coins that should have a mint mark were accidentally struck without one. And in rare cases, those mistakes turn into million-dollar treasures. In 1991, something weird happened at the U.S. Mint. A small batch of pennies that should have had a mint mark left the facility completely naked. No P, no D, no S. Nothing. Just Abraham Lincoln staring into the distance like he knew something we didn't. Now, most of these errors never make it into circulation. But every now and then, one slips through. And when that happens, coin collectors go absolutely nuts. Now, before you start dumping out your piggy bank, let me level with you. Finding this penny is like winning the lottery while being struck by lightning and discovering a four-leaf clover at the same time. But, and this is a big but, people find rare coins all the time. Just last year, a collector came across this 1991 no mint mark penny in near perfect condition, and when it went to auction, well, let's just say they walked away $3.8 million richer. That's life-changing money, folks. The kind of cash that turns your old beater car into a Ferrari, your frozen pizza dinners into steakhouse feasts, and your dusty penny jar into a treasure chest. The year, it must be a 1991 penny. If it's from any other year, well, it's still worth 1 cent a mint mark. Or lack of it, look right under the year. If there's any letter there, D, S, or P, sorry, no millions for you. But if there's nothing, that's when you start sweating. If your penny looks like it's been chewed up by a lawnmower, it won't be worth millions. The most valuable coins are in top-notch condition, meaning they've barely been touched. All right, let's say you just check your pocket change, and there it is, a 1991 penny with no mint mark. First, take a deep breath. No, seriously, you don't want to pass out before you cash in. Next, get that penny professionally graded. A professional coin grading service can confirm if it's legit and determine its condition. If it checks out, congratulations, you might be sitting on a life-changing fortune. And even if you don't have this specific penny, there are still plenty of other rare and valuable coins out there. That's why it pays, literally, to check your change out. When I first got into coin collecting, I thought the whole thing was a joke. My grandpa used to sit at the kitchen table for hours flipping through pennies, and I thought, man, what a waste of time. But one day, just to humor him, I sat down and started looking. Wouldn't you know it? Within 15 minutes, I found a 1943 steel penny. It wasn't worth millions, but it was worth way more than 1 cent, and that's all it took. From that moment on, I was hooked. And let me tell you, there is no greater feeling than finding a rare coin in the wild. It's like treasure hunting, but without the pirates. So, here's the deal. The 1991 no mint mark penny is one of the rarest and most valuable coins out there. If you're lucky enough to find one, you could be looking at a payday of $3.8 million. But even if you don't, there are tons of valuable coins hiding in plain sight. That's why you should always check your change, always keep an eye out for errors, and, most importantly, stay curious. Because you never know when a simple penny could turn into a jackpot. If you found this video helpful, entertaining, or just made you want to go dig through your couch cushions, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth serious money. And who knows, the next time we talk, you might be the one cashing in on a rare coin find. All right, folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever gone digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find some spare change, only to come up with a handful of pennies and think, well, that's useless? What if I told you that one of those little copper coins could be worth nearly $4 million? Yeah, you heard me right. $4 million. Today, we're talking about the elusive 1979 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that recently made headlines with a jaw-dropping value of $3.9 million. That's not just pocket change. That's life-changing money. So, grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's dive into the story of this legendary penny. Because who knows? You might just have one sitting in that old jar on your dresser. Now, before we get into the serious money talk, let me share a little story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, one of those places where you can find everything from vintage toys to questionable meat sticks. I spotted a guy selling old coins, and as a collector, I had to stop. He had a pile of pennies, and I joked, "Got any $1 million ones in there?" He laughed, but little did I know, that joke would one day become reality for someone else. So, what makes this 1979 Lincoln penny so special? Most pennies from 1979 have a small letter underneath the year, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But a tiny fraction were minted without any mark at all. And these aren't your everyday no mint mark pennies. This one is a rare minting error, possibly due to a transitional dime mix-up. Here's where it gets crazy. In a recent auction, a collector paid a staggering $3.9 million for this penny. Imagine being the person who found that coin. One day, you're just sorting through change, and the next, you're buying a mansion. That's the kind of twist no one sees coming. How do I know if I have one? Good question. First, grab a 1979 penny and check under the date. If there's no letter, you might be onto something. But don't go quitting your job just yet. You'll need to check for key details, things like the weight, the metal composition, and any unique striking errors that separate it from regular no-mint mark pennies. A certified coin grading service can verify if yours is the real deal. Many people have rare coins sitting in their collection without realizing their true value. A guy once found a rare penny in a roll of coins he got from the bank. Cost him 1 cent, sold it for 6 figures. Not bad for a trip to the bank, right? So what's the takeaway here? Coins can be worth serious money, and sometimes the most valuable ones are hiding in plain sight. If you've got a jar full of pennies at home, it might be time to start checking them. All right, now that your heart is racing and you're about to flip over every couch cushion in your house, let me leave you with this. Coin collecting isn't just about luck. It's about knowing what to look for, staying informed, and sometimes just being in the right place at the right time. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm always on the hunt for hidden treasures in everyday pocket change, and you don't want to miss out. Who knows? The next rare coin I talk about might be sitting in your pocket right now. All right, folks, imagine this. You're digging through some old change, maybe looking for a vending machine snack, and BM. You spot a 1976 Lincoln penny. No big deal, right? Just a regular OL penny. But what if I told you that one of these could be worth up to $2 million? Yeah, you heard that right. $2 million. That I know what you're thinking. Wait, what? I probably spent one of these on gas station gum last week. Well, hold on to your seats, because today we're diving deep into the mystery of the 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. We'll cover why it's so valuable, how to tell if you have one, and what makes this little copper coin the ultimate jackpot. And stick around, because at the end, I'll tell you the biggest mistake people make when checking their pennies, one that could cost you a fortune. Now, 1976 was a big year for the U.S. We had the bicentennial, fireworks, patriotic spirit, and disco fever. But amid all that excitement, the U.S. Mint was cranking out pennies as usual. Most of these had a little letter under the date, a D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or no mint mark at all, which usually meant it was from Philadelphia. Somehow, a rare batch of 1976 pennies with no mint mark were struck on the wrong type of planchet, or with some kind of major minting error. And that's what makes them so valuable. All right, so what makes this particular penny worth $2 million? Some of these pennies were struck on a foreign coin blank, or even a silver planchet by mistake. The weight is different, and that's a huge giveaway. Some of these have off-center strikes, double dies, or even an unusual metallic composition that makes them unique. Normally, Philadelphia-made pennies don't have a mint mark. But some of these rare 1976 pennies were struck in a way that suggests a minting anomaly, making them a collector's dream. That a few years back, I was at a flea market, the kind where you find old records, antique furniture, and that one guy selling homemade beef jerky. I was digging through a little box of old coins when I found a 1976 penny with no mint mark. I got all excited, thinking I hit the jackpot. But after checking, I realized it was just a regular old penny. Fast forward to today, and one of these actual rare 1976 pennies sold at auction for a mind-blowing $2 million. If I'd found one of those back then, well, let's just say I'd be recording this video from a beach in the Bahamas. Now, this is the part you don't want to miss. How do you know if your 1976 no mint mark penny is the one? A normal 1976 penny weighs 3.11 grams. If yours is significantly lighter or heavier, you might have something special. Get yourself a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and check for any oddities like double-stamped letters or an off-center strike. If you drop a regular penny on a table, it makes a dull sound. But if your penny has a higher pitched ring, it could be made of silver or another valuable metal. If you think you have the golden ticket, the $1 million penny, send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you exactly what you've got if you're lucky enough to have a 1976 no mint mark penny with one of these errors. Here's your game plan. Do not clean it. Cleaning a rare coin can actually destroy its value. Just leave it as is, store it properly. Use a coin holder or a protective case. Contact a professional. A coin dealer or auction house can guide you on the best way to sell it. And who knows? Maybe one of you watching right now is sitting on a life-changing fortune and doesn't even realize it yet. Especially the 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Errors like wrong planchets and double strikes can turn an ordinary coin into a multi-million-dollar never know when you might be holding a hidden gem. If you found this video helpful, funny, or even just mildly entertaining, hit that subscribe button. Every week, I share more tips on coins worth money, collecting strategies, and hidden treasures that could be hiding right under your nose. Have you ever found an unusual penny? Let's talk about it. All right, I'm off to check my couch cushions for spare change. Hey folks, let me ask you something. What if I told you that a single penny, just 1 cent, could be worth over $2 million? Would you start digging through your pocket change right now? Well, you might want to, because the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny is out there, and it's worth a staggering $2.10 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, a penny? Really? Oh, really? And by the time we're done today, you're going to be checking every single penny that comes your way. Trust me, I speak from experience that I once laughed at the idea of finding rare coins in my change. I thought, it's just a penny. But let me tell you that all changed the day I found a coin that paid for my weekend vacation. More on that later. First, let's talk about why this 1982 Lincoln penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and what makes it special. So, why is this little penny causing such a frenzy? Well, in 1982, the U.S. Mint made a major change. They switched from copper pennies to zinc ones to cut costs. That year, they minted coins in different variations, some in copper, some in zinc, some with a mint mark, and some without. But here's where it gets juicy. One ultra-rare error coin slipped through the cracks. A small batch of 1982 pennies was accidentally struck without a mint mark, and these coins were supposed to have one if they came from certain mints. This mistake turned them into a collector's dream. And here's the kicker. Just one of these bad boys sold for $2.1 million at auction. All right, now that I've got your attention, let's talk about what you need to look for. You can't just pick up any 1982 penny and expect to cash out millions. Look just below the date. If there's a little D or S there, sorry, no jackpot for you. The rare one must have no mint mark at all. There were 2 types of 1982 pennies. One made of copper, heavier, and one made of zinc, lighter. You'll want to weigh it on a digital scale. Copper pennies weigh about 3.1 grams, zinc pennies weigh 2.5 grams. If your 1982 no mint mark penny is copper, you may be holding a gold mine. The $1 million versions are in excellent condition. If yours is scratched up like an old record, it might not be worth as much. Now, you might be wondering, why in the world would anyone pay millions for a penny? That's a fair question. Coin collectors, especially those with deep pockets, are always hunting for one-of-a-kind errors and ultra-rare pieces. The 1982 no mint mark penny is so rare that serious collectors are willing to drop life-changing amounts of money just to own one. It's like owning an original painting from a famous artist. Sure, it's just paint on a canvas, but the rarity and history behind it make it priceless. Now, let me tell you why you should never underestimate pocket change. Years ago, I used to toss my spare change into an old coffee can. One day, out of sheer boredom, I decided to go through it. And guess what? I found a silver dime worth $50. That's when I realized I had been throwing away free money for years. Ever since, I've been obsessed with checking every coin I touch. And let me tell you, when you find that first valuable coin, you'll be hooked too. One tiny mistake at the U.S. Mint can make a simple penny worth millions. If you come across a 1982 penny with no mint mark, weigh it. If it's copper and in great condition, you might just have a life-changing find. Go dig through your couch cushions, car cup holders, and old piggy banks. That tiny penny could be sitting right under your nose. And if you enjoyed this video and want more coin hunting secrets, money-making tips, and rare finds, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more hidden treasures to share with you. Who knows? Your next penny might just make you a millionaire. All right, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions looking for spare change, and boom, you find a penny. Not just any penny, but one that could make you a millionaire overnight. Sound crazy, right? Well, buckle up because today we're talking about the 1984 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $2.2 million. Who in their right mind would pay that much for a penny? We'll get to that, but first, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale when I saw a dusty old jar of pennies. The seller wanted $1 for the whole thing. Being the coin nerd that I am, I took it home, dumped it out, and started sorting. And guess what? I found a 1984 penny. Not the jackpot one, but it got me wondering how many people out there have a fortune just sitting in their pocket change without even knowing it.so. Today, we're diving deep into 1984 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. What makes it valuable, how to spot one, and why collectors are willing to pay a small fortune for it. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be itching to check your change jar. All right, let's get one thing straight. 1984 pennies are common. The U.S. Mint cranked out billions of them. But what we're looking for is a rare error that makes some of these pennies insanely valuable. Or rather, the lack of one. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia in 1984 do not have a mint mark. That's normal. However, the $1 million penny has something extra. It was struck with a major double die error, specifically on Lincoln's ear and the word liberty. This doubling makes it incredibly rare, and collectors go nuts for it. All right, time to play treasure hunter. Grab a magnifying glass. Or if you're like me and your eyesight isn't what it used to be, use your phone's zoom. Look closely at Lincoln's ear. If you see a second outline or a doubling effect, cha-ching, you might be onto something big. Also, check the word liberty on the left side of the penny. If the letters look slightly doubled, you just might have a gold mine in your hands. Not every doubled ear penny is worth millions. Condition is everything. If your penny looks like it survived a war, it's still valuable, but not in the seven-figure range. A pristine, uncirculated version is what hit the $2.2 million jackpot at auction. Now, let's talk about the money. A regular 1984 penny? Worth exactly 1 cent. But this rare double die penny? Collectors go absolutely wild for it. A high-grade, certified example of the 1984 no-mint Mark doubled ear penny sold for $2.2 million at auction. That's more than most people's houses. But why? It all comes down to rarity, demand, and collector obsession. The more perfect and rare a coin is, the more collectors are willing to outbid each other like it's the last slice of pizza at a party.so. Let's say you strike gold, or copper in this case, and find one. What next? Step 1. Don't spend on a vending machine Snickers. Step 2. Get authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. That little certification could mean the difference between a few bucks and a life-changing payday. Then, you can auction it through reputable platforms like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. Or, if you're feeling adventurous, throw it on eBay and watch collectors lose their minds. Now, before you dump all your pennies, let me give you a few other hidden treasures from 1984. If it has the same doubling but was minted in Denver, it's still worth hundreds, sometimes thousands. Even a flawless, non-error 1984 penny can be worth a little money if it's in mint state condition.so. The moral of the story? Check all your pennies before tossing them in that Coinstar machine. You never know which one could be retirement money in disguise. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, now you know what to look for. That tiny little penny in your pocket could be worth millions, but only if you know what you're looking for. So, here's your homework. Go check your piggy banks, your car cup holders, even that old jar of change you've been ignoring. You could be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more insider tips on coins worth money, hit that subscribe button. We're just getting started, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, go check those pennies, and let me know in the comments if you find anything crazy. See you in the next one. All right, folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever found a penny on the ground, picked it up, and thought, well, that's 1 more cent in my pocket? What if I told you that little copper coin might be worth a life-changing $2.3 million? That's right. One special 2019 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is out there, and it's worth more than a mansion, a Lamborghini, or a lifetime supply of cheeseburgers, whichever is more important to you. Now, before you start frantically checking your couch cushions, let me break down exactly what makes this penny so valuable, how you can spot one, and whether there's a chance you might be holding onto a fortune without even knowing it. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. So, what's the deal with this penny? Normally, US coins come with a mint mark, those tiny little letters under the date that tell you where the coin was made. The 2019 Lincoln penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but some of them mysteriously lack that P mint mark. Now, that wouldn't be a big deal, except for one tiny detail. Only a handful of these have ever been found, and collectors are willing to pay a fortune for them. About a few years ago, I was at a coin show minding my own business when I overheard two guys whispering about a rare penny. At first, I thought they were joking, but then one of them pulled out his phone and showed a listing for this exact penny, priced at over $2 million. I nearly dropped my coffee. That's when it hit me. There are rare coins hiding in plain sight, and most people have no clue why is this tiny copper coin worth more than a brand new Ferrari? Simple: rarity and demand. Only a few of these error coins were struck, and collectors go absolutely wild for mistakes like this. Think of it like a misprinted baseball card or a rare comic book with an error on the cover. The fewer there are, the higher the price goes. The highest recorded sale of one of these 2019 no mint Mark Lincoln pennies? A jaw-dropping $2.3 million. And that was before the hype really took off? How to spot a 2019 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. All right, now for the fun part. How do you know if you have one of these rare pennies? Here's what to look for. It must be a 2019 penny, not 2018, not 2020, only 2019. Under normal circumstances, the Philadelphia Mint would put a small P under the date. If it's missing, you might be in business. The better the condition, the more valuable it is. If it looks brand new, even better. Now, let me tell you something funny. The day I learned about this penny, I ran home, grabbed my change jar, and dumped it all over the kitchen table. My wife walked in, took one look, and said, "Did we suddenly go broke?" Nope, I was just searching for treasure. Sadly, I didn't find one, but that doesn't mean you won't. So let's say you check your pocket change, and boom, you spot a 2019 penny with no mint mark. First, take a deep breath. Second, don't spend it on a soda. Third, get it authenticated. Here's how. Take clear, close-up photos and compare them with verified examples online. Contact a reputable coin grading service like PeaceGS or NGC. They'll examine the coin and certify its authenticity. List it at a major auction house or coin dealer. Don't just slap it on eBay for $5. This is the kind of find that deserves professional handling. So, the next time you find a penny, don't just toss it aside. Check the date. Look for that missing mint mark. Who knows? You might be holding onto a multi-million-dollar treasure without even realizing it. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on rare coins that could be hiding in your pocket, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more coin collecting secrets to share, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some penny searching to do.